Welcome back to Sportsworld, with plenty of interest centred on racing action at Rosehill Gardens in Sydney and at Flemington in Melbourne. Yesterday, to join us, our two track experts. Firstly, Max Presnell. Max, great to see you on the program again.
Great to be here. Great to be at Rosehill Gardens yesterday too.
Any luck?
Oh, up and down, but nevertheless, the lucky aspects was I was there to see Dane win, who is an outstanding racehorse and a pleasure to see.
OK, well, down in Melbourne is Keith Hillier, and Keith, some mixed fortunes for Larry Cassidy and Darren Beedman in particular at Flemington yesterday. Pat Lawler a little bit lenient on Beedman?
Yes, he was. Perhaps we saw two thrilling finishes, two thrilling races, the Cadbury Australian Guineas and the Blamey Stakes. We'll have a look at those soon, David. But Darren Beedman, who rode the favourite Salius in the Guineas, was charged. He was charged with careless riding. That's almost throwing away the keys, isn't it? But he argued his case. He argued that another jockey contributed to interference at the 700-metre mark, and the stewards agreed with him, so they let him off with a severe reprimand, and an important time of the autumn too for Beedman to escape a penalty.
Yeah, particularly with the battle with Larry Cassidy, Max, but Larry not so lucky at Rosehill Gardens.
No, Larry was guilty and will take it one Saturday off, 4 meetings in all. But, Keith, you're not saying Pat Lawler was lenient. I can't believe Pat would be lenient.
Well, he gave Darren the benefit of a doubt. It was a benefit that surprised most of us more hardened watchers, Max.
Yes, but some of you more hardened watchers, Keith, haven't got the full evidence to consider, like the head-on stewards report and so forth.
You're referring to the closed camera aspect of things here?
Oh, something along those lines, Keith.
OK, I thought you might have been. No, look, Pat's a fair man, and that was a fair result, I'm sure.
In history, though, shows that he's normally tougher when it involves Group 1 events.
Yes, well, I think, David, once you're charged, you're virtually off, aren't you? Probably 1 in 50 escape after they've been charged, and I can't even remember the last one.
Mick Dittman.
Was it?
I think...
Take your word, Max.
Interest in the criterion quality over 1100 yesterday, Keith, and of course my Duke withstood the likes of some pretty good talent.
Yes, indeed. This was the reappearance of Clang, the reigning Golden Slipper favourite. He had to give as much as 8 kilos to his rivals, and in the end, it was my Duke at long odds, one of the lightweights, blowing away some of the favoured runners. You'll see my Duke storm home. He grabs Express Gold near the post. He's not in either the Blue Diamond or the Golden Slipper, so it really destroyed a few hopes yesterday for what's to come still in the rich 2-year-old or the juvenile races ahead of us.
Keith, I thought Express Gold was a particularly good run. I thought Clang was a particularly good run. I couldn't agree that they were destroyed. I think under the circumstances they went pretty good. I'm not saying that they went like real dominating forces, but I still think that you've got to have them up there in races like the Golden Slipper and the Blue Diamond.
Well, I suppose Clang, Max, he's sort of performing in a workmanlike manner. He keeps whacking away, but he's nothing exceptional, I don't think, on yesterday's performance. The only thing you can say, the only saving grace, is that he had to give them so much weight, but I think most of us expected more from him, except the bookmakers. His price eased from 5-2 to 9-2.
Well, Max, of course, Golden Slipper winner Spur in sensational form in the Guineas yesterday, but the future undecided as far as Lee Friedman's concerned.
Yes, well, I don't know the measure of this form, Keith. Were front runners favoured by this race? They didn't seem, the back markers didn't seem to get into the race until the last 50 metres, didn't really even get into the race. I wonder about the form.
Yeah, I think the result said it all, that our best filly, Salius, and one of our top liners, Golden Spur, proved too good on the day. Golden Spur was beaten 4 times. This is a marvellous ride by Oliver. Take nothing away from Beedman either. There they go to the line. What a thriller. And I was speaking to Lee Friedman this morning on the way into 7 Melbourne, and he said that still no decision has been made as to whether the Golden Spur will keep racing or be retired. Plans are for him to stand at stud here in Victoria.
Well, Keith, when you talk about exciting finishes, the Blamey yesterday, Racer's Edge made it 2 in a row, but quite in contrast to his performance in the All Stakes at Sandown last week.
Oh, absolutely. Racer's Edge is in a pocket back 3rd on the fence, and Malcolm Pay had a lot of trouble getting out. Had the photo gone the other way, had he not get up, well, as Max Smart would say, he would have missed by just that much, and he would have been condemned. But he was praised in the end because he got Racer's Edge home over the surprise favourite, Starstruck. It was an absolute thriller, and piping, and we saw Lee Friedman's Melbourne Cup runner there, a 2nd place getter, fighting on well as well, so we're going to get a lot more from him. But Racer's Edge proved that he's the best of the lot around at the moment, they're not the top class, I don't think.
And you're still excited about that wonderful return. A standing ovation for Dane Wynn yesterday after the blaming.
Yes,
after the,
certainly entitled to it. He carried 60 kilos. He did it at both ends. Of course, his critics might say, yeah, but he didn't win by far. But it's the way he wins. He does it at both ends, as I said, and he keeps winning and keeps running consistently, which is something I'm afraid, Keith, you can't say for Flying Spur.
Well, that's true, Max. I have to concede that point. This is Dane Wynn's first run since the Japan Cup. He's headed to Dubai, and things are going on course for him. I wonder whether Damien Oliver will go to Dubai with Dane Wynn, or whether this rider, Wayne Harris, might now get that invitation.
Well, Harris rode him very well yesterday. Note down the outside sprint by, charging into second place. Now, Dane Wynn came home his final 600 in under 34, so you can see how good sprint by has gone too, and sprint by wasn't expected to do that well. He's been having hoof problems, so certainly sprint by could be a force in the autumn.
Well, tremendous interest at Warwick Farm in a barrier trial on Friday, with the Cox Plate winner Octagonal making a return. Let's go to the action from Warwick Farm.
Often racing, Octagonal jumped out quickly from the outside. Ginzano showing speed with Emilio, and Mossy Atunya will go through and join Emilio in front. Ginzano third, Octagonal fourth, followed by Money Thinks. Japan and Prince Burnham's gone back to the tail of the field. 500 out. Mossy Atunya led a half on Emilio, and then came back in behind those horses by Octagonal, who's racing on the outside of Ginzano. Japan. Money Thinks in the centre. Prince Burnham as last as they come around the bend. Mossy Atunya joined by Emilio, which is travelling the better, and it's cruised to the front now. Then Ginzano, Octagonal on the outside. Further back was Prince Burnham, Japan and Money Thinks, but it's Emilio and Mossy Atunya, which is fighting back strongly on the inside. Mossy Atunya and Emilio. Emilio is just in front and tipped out Mossy Atunya. Octagonal got third, and then Money Thinks.
How impressed?
Not spectacular, not spectacular.
You'd give the jockey 3 months if it were a race, wouldn't you?
Yes, certainly. I was just going to point out to David, who might know the insides of racing, that he was having a beneficial run. In other words, he wasn't trying. But certainly you couldn't describe it as a spectacular trial. It was beneficial. It was good. He will make a comeback to racing next Saturday in either the Apollo or the Hobartville. He's come back very well, and he's going to be a major force in the autumn. Of course, there's a couple of other major forces around too.
Well, Keith, last year John Hawke set him for one preparation. That was very successful, the Cox Plate, second in the Derby. What do you think the prospects of Octagonal this year?
I think they're exciting, David, because as I said with yesterday's Blamey Stakes, we're just lacking a top liner at the moment. We really don't have a Let's Elope or a Better Loosen Up or something special. But ahead of us, we've got Octagonal, Nothing Like a Dane, Catlin Opening, maybe Peep on the Sly, Cellius. We've got an exciting crop of 3-year-olds that are going to go on. I can't wait for it. We're going to see a good sprinter at Flemington today too, our Maze K.
Max, what have we got in the black book?
We'll have something on Strategic at Flemington to beat Keith's champion, but certainly Peep on the Sly is in the black book. I'm putting Octagonal two in the black book, and Elegant Gold, although bagged by Mr. Hillier down in the south, I think he'll pay to follow.
Okay, enjoyed it at Canterbury today?
I certainly shall, but I'm going to enjoy it more at Flemington when Strategic takes on our Mace-Go.
Oh, I think tipping on the Sabbath is not your forte, Max. Something's upsetting your balance.
Okay, Max Gillies looking like Keith Hillier joining us from Melbourne. And Max Presnell, thanks for joining us. We'll take a break on Sportsworld. Back with more in just a moment.
The number 8 is Henry Taylor.